Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is your ultimate guide to Rex Infernus, covering everything you need to know about the map. We've got secret Easter eggs, easy ways to get to high round, and just a general overview of what the hell is going on. So without further ado, drop a like on the video maybe, and we'll get started. Before you start the match, maybe consider changing your augment research to Widow's Wine, just in case you've forgotten that you need to do that. And then load in and you'll spawn in her house, as it's called. And her house contains quick revive, and you're trapped here for the first couple of rounds. As you open up the house, the twins then call the phone and break the main door, and you can then go out of the house via this portal, and you won't be able to go back to the house for a little while, so spend as much time in the house as you want, I guess, if it feels nostalgic for you. Now, once you're in the main map, it's kind of a hub area in the middle with 4 spokes around the outside, and each of those belongs to one of the Shadowsmiths. So to give you a very quick rundown of the entire thing, each of the 4 main areas contains an armor wall by location, an arsenal machine, and a crafting bench. Heading clockwise around the map from the Nexus Forge takes you to Nyxara Passage, where you'll find Stamina Up. Then into Nyxara Entrance and the main chamber, you'll find Double Tap. Then you can head over to Nyxara Sanctuary and head right, and that takes you to some parkour. And once you're across that, you'll reach Spira Insula, which is where the Juggernog machine is. This will then lead you to Vatharian Sanctuary, as well as the main chamber, and that's where Vulture Aid can be found. And you'll find Mule Kick tucked away in the sanctuary just before exiting towards Aranea Insula, which contains the new Widow's Wine perk machine. Then moving on into Dravakar main chamber, you'll be able to find Death Perception. Speed Cola is also at the Dravakar entrance, and then if we head over to the Ruinous Insula, you'll find PhD Flopper. Keeping going, if we go into the Caltheris main chamber, that contains Elemental Pop, and Wisp Tea is right next to the entrance, and this then finishes the loop, and you head back to Nexus Forge in the middle, where you'll find the Rampage Inducer, Deadshot Daiquiri, which eventually gets replaced by the Wunderfizz once you've acquired 4 perks, or you've reached round 25, and the Pack-a-Punch, which we'll go over next. For the PAP, it's very simple. You place the World Seed in the center of the forge, you shoot the skulls to get them to move towards their own locations, so just keep shooting them until they go that direction. Grab the essence that they drop, and then when they get into that chamber, shoot the head a bit more, it'll be destroyed, it'll set the brazier on fire, and then you can bring fire from the brazier into the middle of the map and light the central brazier. You do this with both skulls, you therefore bring fire back twice to the central area, and then you crank both the wheels to unlock Pack-a-Punch. Next, let's talk about the special round on this map, because it's a quite unique one. It's the Death Spinner round, where you've got the spiders, which have the same web attack as the Zetsubo spiders, but those attacks can slow you down. They also have that leap attack. Their abdomen is the weak spot, and they're also weak to the Deadwire ammo mod, and there's Arachnophobia mode available just like Black Ops 6 if you are scared. However, the thing that is extra scary about the Death Spinner rounds is that it foreshadows the arrival on round 16 of the Web Mother. This is a new elite in the map, which can fire webs on the ground that slow you when you move over them. It can teleport around. It can cover doors and perk machines and all sorts of stuff with webs that you'll need to destroy. It's very annoying, but you can obviously get rid of the webs, and then you can use the machine again as normal. It can cocoon zombies, and you can also grapple on top of it and ride it. Yes. This is somehow not the first time that we've gone around riding animals in COD Zombies. Crazy stuff. It's weak to Shadow Rift and Lightmend, and its weak spot is the skull, and it's pretty terrifying. So watch out for that thing. Now, I mentioned the grapple. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the Titan Trap, because this is another really cool thing here. It costs a couple thousand points, and it's in front of the Vatharian and Caltheris entrances, and sometimes it just activates automatically if you are sort of walking through the area. When it does activate, it will slam its arms down, and zombies will stand underneath before those arms slam, and you can stand in the middle, and you won't take any damage. Now, next, we're going to talk about the Wonder Weapon, and within the Wonder Weapon guide, we've also got some other bits and pieces, including the Grappling Hook, so I'll play that for you now. All you need to do to gain access to the Grappling Hook is open up the Pack-a-Punch and then interact with one of these green fountains around the map, and that will give you the Grappling Hook for around 30 seconds. Now, unfortunately, you are limited to how many times you can pick up these fountains per round, so you'll find that sometimes you'll use a couple of the green fountains, and then suddenly all the fountains in the map will be off, and that's just a sign that you need to go to the next round to be able to grapple more. But this is per player, so in co-op, your teammates might still have grapple charges when you personally have run out. Next, there's a couple of things you can work on. You can do the Nyxara shard area, but we're gonna focus on the Dravakar temple to get started with. Inside the Dravakar temple, you will find there are these 3 switches around the kind of center area at the back of the temple, and the back switch here turns these 2 back pillars, the right switch here turns these 2 right pillars, and the left switch on the other side turns these 2 left pillars. Now there's also a switch in the very middle of the room, and that is basically your code entry button. So when you are happy with the code that I'm about to explain, you're going to press that button and it's going to seal your choice. If you fail, then all of your pillars will just reset back to their original position, and you'll need to try again the next round. But if you succeed, you'll have a very obvious completion happen. Also, inside that back central room, you'll see on these pillars, there are symbols, and I'm going to refer to these in the following way. This symbol is the star or the sun. This symbol is the runner. Then this symbol is galaxy. And this symbol is moon. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to this blue text on this back wall here and interact with it, and it's going to give you a riddle. On screen, there are several options for what that riddle can be, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you basically just a sort of cheat sheet of combinations that you can enter for each of these possible riddles, so that as long as you haven't already messed with your pillars, you can just get this solved every single time. So let's start with I drift to the runner that travels moons, who borrow from galaxies when stars stay true. For that, interact with the left switch 3 times, the back switch twice, and the right switch once, and then you'll interact with the middle pillar, and that will accept your code. If it doesn't work, go to the video description and click on the "What do I do if it isn't working" timestamp. Our next riddle is I drift to stars that remember moons, who borrow the runner that travels the galaxy. For this, interact with the left switch once, the back switch twice, and the right switch twice. If it doesn't work, skip to the timestamp in the description titled "What to do if it doesn't work." For the next riddle, I remember the runner that travels to stars while moons and galaxies stay true. And this is a double whammy, the runner that drifts to the stars while the moon and galaxies stay true. Okay, this is 2 riddles in 1. Same solution. Interact with the back switch twice and interact with the right switch 3 times. Then interact with the switch in the middle of the room to enter your code, and if it doesn't work, check the video description for the timestamp titled "What do I do if it doesn't work?" Next riddle, I remember galaxies that drift to moons who borrow the runner that travels the stars. For this, interact with the left switch 2 times and the right switch 2 times, and then interact with the middle pillar to enter your code, and if it doesn't work, then this next part of the video is for you. So if you're still having trouble, or you have a riddle that you don't feel like I've mentioned in any of the previous riddles, luckily for you, I have a page on crinorium.com, which is linked in the video description, which will spit the answer out for you. So all you've got to do is just select your riddle and follow the prompts on the screen on the page, and it will give you your answer. Now, assuming it was a correct entry, the central pillar will lower and it will reveal a secret room, and you can then grapple up there. But in order to be able to actually do what we need to do up there, you need to do this next step, and that's in the Nyxara area with the shard. So for this, you need any explosive. I usually use PhD Flopper for this. I go to the Dravakar temple, parkour up to this platform by the entrance, or just use a grappling hook, and then blow up your PhD or use a grenade against this wall, and you will drop out a part. Pick that up and then go to Nyxara and place the shard we just picked up onto this holder on this wall. You can either grapple up to the holder, or you can wall jump and place it in the holder. And once placed, you'll notice that there are many shards all over the walls. You need to pick up a Void Claw charge and go into the room with the huge eye, and what you'll find is you're able to rotate your wall holders so that when we start bouncing an energy ball in a second, it bounces in the right direction. And the alignment you need for this is starting at this shard above the rubble. You want that one to be aligned to the middle. Then above this room's main door, align it to the right. To the left of this door, align it to the left. To the right of the same door, align it to the right. And then inside the first Nyxara room, make sure that the shard we've placed is aligned in the middle. Then check that above the main door, it's aligned to the middle. and near this final door, it's aligned to the left. And obviously, if you do this and you start bouncing the balls in just a second and it gets stuck at a dead end, that's just a sign that whichever the last crystal in your sequence was is probably aligned in the wrong direction because it's not bouncing it to the next crystal. So, we now need a purple flame. To get one of these, use a grapple to suck a purple ball and drag it towards you. And you're going to keep dragging it all the way down to that Pack-a-Punch area. Then, you're going to crank the Pack-a-Punch by using the wheel here, and it will suck in the purple ball, and it will turn this fire purple. Now, if you can't find any balls to suck, don't worry. Common problem. You can just go to the next round, and there'll be more balls that you'll be able to suck, and you'll also get grapples back. But assuming you've got your purple fire, you're gonna then hold square to grab the purple fire, and you're gonna run into the temple and shoot it at this eye here, and it will start the energy bouncing between the crystals. Now, you are on a timer when this happens, so you will need to run quickly, and you'll need to make sure you hit your shots, actually targeting that big eye in the back of the room. And like I said, if you've got a problem shard that is pointing the wrong way, just make sure that you adjust that shard using your grapple, and you'll then see the ball progress, and eventually it should open up a new area of this temple. This should be fairly self-explanatory to troubleshoot. If you have any problems, let me know in the comments down below, and actually check the video description. I'll have more info down there too. But once the secret room opens, you'll go in there and you'll find a tree that will suck you. And once it's sucked you enough, it will go white. And at the bottom, you'll see something come out, and it's a heart. You eat the heart by holding interact. It teleports you into a forest, and then you need to find 3 charred bodies around the forest. The first is inside this broken building here on the ground. For this, you're going to want to melee the floorboards to the left of the corpse, and that will reveal one of the parts. Then the Warden will speak to you, and then you can take your first part. The second is that this corpse in the center of the forest against this rock. Interact with the corpse and it will spawn the part. And the third is by this cave entrance over here. Once again, interact to spawn the part. Once you've grabbed all 3 of those parts, you can return to the map via this portal here, or it will just suck you off back into the real world. And if you don't manage to find all your parts in time, don't worry. You can just go to the next round, and then you can re-eat the heart inside the tree, and you'll be able to try again in the forest. Now, one thing you might find is that it's not working for you, like it doesn't let you eat the fruit. That's because there's actually a higher round requirement for this step to work. So I believe you're going to need to be on round 8 or onwards, but I'll put a pinned comment if there's any amends that need to be made to that fact. But if it's not working for you, go another round or a couple of rounds, make sure you're on round 8 or onwards, and it should then unlock the fruit. But once you've got all 3 parts, use your grapple to grapple up into Dravakar's hole, which we opened up earlier, and then build the wonder weapon at the bench. The wonder weapon's pretty cool. It's got a left and a right side, which work independently, but if you pack-a-punch the wonder weapon, it gains a charged activation, which creates a fiery tornado that kills a bunch of zombies. So what you can do, should you so desire, is you can hold down charge on both of them, fire just, let's say, your left side, and then your right side is still charged. So as soon as that tornado disappears, you can immediately fire your right side tornado while you then charge up your left side again. And you can infinitely chain those tornadoes. Now, obviously the caveat here is it will burn through the ammo fairly quickly, so be wary of that. But otherwise, that is how you build the wonder weapon in Rex Infernus. So also, now that we've got the Void Claw grappling hook, what can you do with it? Well, obviously you can traverse around the map more easily, but you can also use it on dig spots for rewards. If you claw a purple ball over to a dig spot, it will submerge into the dig spot, and it will give you even better rewards, such as Pack-a-Punch crystals or epic ether rolls. And also, there is a upgrade for the Void Claw, which makes it red, and you can do this by going back to the house and getting the eye from the toilet. But that is such an involved process that I'm going to recommend you watch my main quest Easter egg guide in order to do that, and it's linked in the description down below and in the corner of the screen right now. Just open that tab, save it for after you finish this video. Next, let's talk about the music Easter egg. On top of a pillar in the Nyxara main chamber, you can find one of the interacts here. Use a grapple to reach onto this ledge and hold interact as you fall. For the second one, grapple or wall jump onto this walkway in Ruinous Insula, and the headphones you're looking for are on this ledge. Then on a skull wedged between a rock and a wall opposite the Widow's Wine Machine, you'll find your third one, and that will play the map's music Easter egg. Next, let's talk about a couple of free power-ups. Got some little side Easter eggs in here for you. the free max ammo is in the house. So for this, you're going to slide this little painting out of the way by holding interact, and you'll find the max ammo in there. And to get back into the house, you can do the steps that are in my main quest Easter egg guide. If you need a quick reminder, it's doing the music notes on the house and then doing the exfil, which takes you to the house. Next, for the free bonus points, it's to the left of Stamina Up in the far distance, and it's much easier to hit with a scope. And for the free insta-kill, it's behind the main area in the Nyxara chamber, or beneath it, I guess, and you'll find it just here. Now, for an early game strat for this map, I'd say hoarding in a circle around the Nexus Forge seems to be pretty good. Grants you easy access to Pack-a-Punch. You've got the Wunderfizz right there as well. The gold rings on the Pack-a-Punch will also kill zombies for you. And there's enough grapple points nearby that you can quickly grab a grapple to get out of harm's way if you have to. Now, for another side Easter egg, there's a pretty cool one involving a dance-off. Yep, you heard that correctly. So for this, you're going to use the grapple on dig spots around the map, and eventually you will find a cassette tape. And to get that cassette, I don't know if you have to be sucking balls into those dig sites, but doing that for some of them is probably a good idea because you'll get better rewards from those. Anyway, you're going to pick it up once you find that cassette and take it to the Aranea Insula, which is the island that contains Widow's Wine. There, you'll find a fireplace that has a cassette player. Interact to insert the tape, and then interact again to start a dance minigame. It will be a vote for your team, and the better you do in the minigame, the better rewards you get. So I got 2 mystery perks and an epic ether tool, but it can have pap crystals and things like that as well. And it also rewards you with the Survivor's New Groove calling card and challenge. Next, let's talk about another side Easter egg, and this one's actually really good. So you're going to need to gain access to the forest through the Wonder Weapon quest, which I already explained. Then, once you've done all of that stuff, you've got your Wonder Weapon built. Next to the house in the forest, by a tree, you'll find this tiny Samantha music box. Interact with that, and then come back to the forest the next round. And in there, you'll find this Paradox Junction toy box. Hold interact on it, and it will open, and inside, 3 toys will pop out. And you can choose which minigame you now want to do. You can only do 1 per round, and once you've done one of the minigames, its toy will go out of the box, and you'll only have the other 2 remaining until you've done all 3, in which case it will then reset. So, for the first game, let's explain how to do the hide and seek. For this, you just need to find the twins as fast as you can. You can see a little ball of their energy flying around to indicate the rough direction that they're going to go to. But you need to run around, find the twins, run into them, and then keep doing that. And then the game will spit you out, and it will give you a reward if you do it correctly. For the jump rope, it's very simple, but it's very difficult if you're not on host. So I'd recommend that the player with the lowest ping does this. You basically just have to jump over the rope as it swings, but it changes speed. And for the stuffed animal one, you're just going to run around the forest collecting the toys on the floor while ghosts of yourself follow you around, and it's got a sort of fear in headlights effect, so if you look at the ghosts, they'll stop, but honestly for this, you can just sprint around with your nose in the floor picking up the toys. Once you do all of those, the rewards you get will scale, so you'll get essence, salvage, self-revives, ether crystals, wrenches, all sorts of stuff. It's really good for rewards, and if you go back and do the harder version of these minigames, once you've done the first set of 3, and you do this by just going back into the forest in future rounds and doing games 1 by 1, you'll get this mask reward. And if you pick that up and put it on your head, obviously, which you can see in third person, you'll then have this sort of secondary ammo mod situation where every now and then the twins will come down through a bolt of lightning and throw zombies around them into the air. It's a rare occurrence, but it's pretty sick when it does happen. So with all of this information in mind, you are now set up to do a lot of the Easter egg steps in this map very easily. So I really recommend you click through and try that now. It's linked on the screen. It's my no-nonsense guide as ever. So hopefully I will see you there, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.